That would be fun though, because man, like at certain times, if you could really like pull off being a woman and transition really well, like do that androgynous transition.
I'm gonna be arrogant about that. I probably
could. Go to an interview as a woman every time though?
Oh yeah.
Like there's certain times I would pick to be a woman if I could do that back and forth really well.
Yeah, I'm tucking my balls and wearing a skirt.
Yeah, just certain times like
I ain't tucking my balls.
It's the Heckleproof Comedy Podcast with Zach Bolton and Carl Lee and Matty J.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what's up, peeps? Welcome back to another episode of Heckleproof Podcast.
Heckleproof.
That's right, we starting the new year good, man. Having a good time, enjoying our life. And also, we got 2 new sponsors, so I got to give a shout out to, first of all, to one of the original sponsors. So I want to thank you, Hawaiian Hut, for looking out for us.
Thanks, Wes.
And also, hey, we got the
Courthouse.
Family Fitness.
Courthouse.
Family Fitness.
Courthouse.
Family Fitness.
Courthouse.
Mind your business.
Courthouse.
You might not fit this, but if you join Carl Fitness.
Oh, Carl. Damn, Carl.
wow.
We are the Courthouse Family Fitness boy band.
That's true.
Yeah, girl.
Carl knows all about them courthouses.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there ain't no way you're fitting all this talent.
Yeah, that's the only courthouse I walk out
There's
of.
3 things Carl knows. Carl knows all about courthouses, Carl knows all about family, and Carl knows all about fitness.
That's right, but I walk out of this courthouse.
That's true. He doesn't get stuck at this
No
one.
charges.
No charge.
No charges.
Yeah. Drop them charges.
Still working now
Like I dropped
regardless.
them
Steady
dumbbells.
working out with no charges.
Yeah.
No charges. Steady
Drop
working
them
now
charges.
regardless.
Like I dropped them
I'm
dumbbells.
out the gym, go with the hardest.
I'm lifting bench presses. No more jail cells.
You could go to other gyms, but that's just regardless.
That's regardless.
No more putting money on my books. I'm on a treadmill getting lean. No more running like a crook.
Ooh.
He's
He
at the
just living
courthouse.
life clean. No charges.
And then when I get done working out, I go to the front desk and get me a smoothie.
Ooh.
I think that girl that served me, her name was Julie.
And she was a groupie.
And then later Carl was stunting like, yeah, that chick knew me.
Yeah, she knew me.
Yeah, she didn't. She didn't.
Carl didn't know her name because he was looking at her boobies.
Oh, what's our other sponsors?
We
What's our
also
other
got
sponsors?
a brand new other sponsor, which is The Point.
The
in
Point.
Central Point.
Pub and Grill. It's at Central Point in Medford, and a new location coming soon.
That's true. That's really good food. That's really good food, and that is
Get them
the
fried
point.
pickles. The fried pickles.
The
those
fried pickles?
things
Yeah.
smash.
That's what their slogan should be. When it comes to good food, that is the point.
That's the point.
Just get to the point.
And they can
Chadwick's
have
Pub.
that. They can have that for free. I would normally charge for that. That's what I do for a living. I would normally charge for that, and they can have that for free just for being our sponsor.
Are you looking for
Pub
good
got
food?
great food too and great comedy.
Chadwick's,
Chadwick's Pub. Thank you.
It's true.
Great
They always
food
have the
and great
same
comedy.
MC though, and it's kind of annoying.
I know that motherfucker need to figure it out. Go elsewhere.
Yeah, he's like a broke ass
Go
Bill Bellamy.
elsewhere.
He's like a broke ass mountain.
He's like Bill Bellamy on a binger. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like
Poor
Bill
thing.
Bellamy on a boat on a
He's like,
binger.
he's like Bill Bellamy with the funky blush. He's like Bill Smellamy.
He's like Bill Felony.
Bill Felony. I like that. Bill Felony.
Yeah.
Bill Felony.
That's the peak of this episode.
Hey.
You could just turn it off right now because it ain't getting better
But
than that.
also, let me
that
show you-
joke is that joke.
That's all, folks.
That felony joke's
Yeah,
brought
let
to you
me
by
show you
Chadwick.
guys something,
Brought
man.
you by Chadwick.
So
Oh, let me see.
I got to show you something that was really cool because actually Hawaiian Hut, the owner Wes, amazing guy, he had this made for me.
Oh, what?
He had that
look at
frame
that.
for me, bro.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
That's crazy
That's true.
beautiful. Thank you, Wes. Hawaiian, my man did this for me, bro.
And that's not a Photoshop. You are really actually doing
that's
that.
me.
and that's actually Carl.
That's actually Carl. That is.
I know it looked a lot
And-
like a prettier version of Car. It
Yeah,
looked-
that was Carl before he was. Now he's Carl's junior.
Exactly.
right.
So thank you, Wes, man. This is
That's
awesome.
pretty cool, man.
That's so dope. That's
It is,
sick,
man.
bro.
Yeah.
Where you gonna hang that up at?
over your bed.
Oh, perfect.
Now maybe you'll finally be able to finish.
Over your bed. She will.
Oh, that's a double-sided joke.
Cool, Carl. Cool.
Yeah.
This
You
whole
guys-
this whole episode.
Your mom notices your erections. Cool.
Whatever.
Are you doing a throwback? I just asked you
doing a
not to do a throwback to another. I literally just asked.
He just asked. And also,
no,
you
but
know,
we want to talk about. We want to talk about on this episode
what's that?
We want to talk about.
where we are. Where we at right now?
We in Oregon.
That's
We're in a
right.
house.
We in Southern Oregon.
In Oregon, and we are.
We are in
Oregon
Southern Oregon.
folk.
Oregon.
This episode is going to be dedicated to what it means to be an Oregonian.
We're in Oregon.
Right.
We're in Oregon. I don't know if a lot of people know too much, especially where I'm from, Virginia.
Yeah, they think
part
that
of the
we're
country.
like Wild West.
They think we're like Portland.
Yeah.
If you say Oregon, Portland? Like,
Portland?
No.
Portland.
We're pretty fucking far from Portland.
Pretty much.
But then also people that live here don't know that anything else exists either.
Well, they do know now.
If you don't know, now
What do you think
know.
about-
If you don't know, now you know.
Baby, baby.
No, you got to say. I can't say the word,
then
so
go
you have to
ahead.
say it when I press
Say
it.
it.
If you don't know, now you know.
Say it. Say it.
If you don't know, now you know. Now you know.
Did you just mess up that lyric?
Yeah. If you don't know, now
Yeah.
you know, Carly.
Say it.
If you don't know, now you
Swear
know,
to God, I will
Carly.
beat you with
I
this
swear to
microphone.
God,
This
say
is my
it.
buttons. Where's my button? If you don't know, now you know.
Nigga.
Oh, that was what the button was.
That's
I
what
see.
it was.
That's a handy button to have
It's
sometimes.
handy.
So
Because
now
there's
he
certain
got the
song
pump.
lyrics you can't do without that button.
Then I can't stop talking like Biggie.
It was all a dream.
Once you did it, I couldn't stop talking.
How did he even rap on
Hoes
track?
wanna
bro?
screw us.
How
Who
did he
wants-
even rap
yeah,
without
us
having a heart
Papa
attack every
Airport.
single time?
Oh, you can imagine a guy walking up the studio like, "Let me get on this beat."
Right.
Sugar mafia.
He sound like Dom DeLuise lusting after a
I don't
sandwich.
know what the hell is stopping
He's the
you.
only mouth breather that's ever been a rapper.
It was all a dream.
Like you want to get on with Biggie?
I
Like,
used
I
to
don't think
eat
I can
donuts
get on
and Krispy
Biggie. I'm not.
Kreme.
Like I could try to climb on. I just slide the fuck
I'll try.
off.
Let me try.
It's too round.
It's like everybody has all those rappers have like 50 Cent. He's got the he don't move his teeth. That's how you talk like 50
talk
Cent.
like this, man.
Hey, he's 50. I just
Y'all
wanna
know the
chill and
V like,
twist it
man.
up.
I'll tell y'all right now, man. We're going there out
Hey,
there.
baby, Sim, boy.
Yeah.
You don't sound like 50 at all.
Gee, you
Twist
nut.
the line.
Gee, you
I'm
nut.
on when I home for phone to shine.
It's like he got a
I'm
facelift.
on
My 745.
Maybe he got a
You drive
facelift.
Girl.
It's easy to love me now.
Woo.
Could you love me if I was down and out? Would you
you
still have love for me?
Independent, man, we
Would
still
you
love me.
If I didn't smell so good, would you still hug me? If I locked up and sentenced to a quarter century, could I count on you to be there to support me mentally?
Now,
think
what
you're
we
the only
just did
person-
was
I
the
think you're
white
the-
version and the black version.
Right. I think you're the only
The
person that
white
actually knows the
people
words.
understood him.
I used to listen to that song
the
all the
Negroes
time,
understood me.
And I understand.
If I got locked
neither
up
of
and
them.
sentenced to a quarter century, could I count on you to be there to support me mentally?
That's true. You can.
just
If I
did
wrote
like-
you a love letter, would you write back?
That was back then when they did movies over the radio.
That was like you just put the cock in the Asian.
Yeah, he
That's
just-
what you just did.
You put the gog in Asians.
But I love.
the
I
gog
gotta
in
tell you,
Asians.
man.
So what does it mean though? What does it mean? That's the thing. So Oregon is this mystery state for people who haven't been here or people who haven't been to the West Coast. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of
You don't
like,
talk about Oregon or Washington. You
Yeah,
talk about
people don't understand it. They know.
California.
You know what's funny though? Sometimes the one thing they know is Simpsons. They're like, oh, isn't that supposed to be in Oregon? And we're like,
Some
oh,
shit
maybe.
like that, yeah.
You know, but
But they said it was Springfield, Massachusetts or some shit.
no.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Springfield, Illinois. Could
It could be a lot of places.
so, but
But
honestly,
the point is,
but if I say someone right now, especially being a comedian, if I say to my
Right.
boys, I'm on the West Coast. Oh, you in L.A.?
yeah,
Right. No.
you down in the Bay? No. You in
Yep,
Seattle?
yeah, yeah.
No.
Well, not even that, man. It's like
You in Bigfoot territory?
I think you hit it. I think you hit it. The Bay and L.A. They think West Coast.
Of course.
And then we're not talking Coos Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, I lived there for like 5 years.
That explains it.
I look like a ghost.
That explains it.
I look like a ghost. I didn't see this. The sun shines there like 3 days a year.
What the fuck were you doing in Coos Bay?
I lived there from 5th grade until like beginning of 5th grade until like end of 8th grade.
I can talk about Coos Bay now because I no longer do business with them.
I told you this when you.
I used to do.
I told you, I told you about this when you were talking about the shows at the mill.
Casino.
I like you that you've withdrawn your whole business.
Exactly. I just want you motherfuckers to know how I feel.
Like
now.
it doesn't even matter if it's a brand new, amazing venue. The whole city's out now.
That place.
That's
is
how
so,
bad they treated Carl.
I could talk about
the city
it now.
is out.
I mean, you think Medford's bad with like drugs and stuff, but fucking Coos Bay, that's all they have.
I'm gonna tell you.
Just because the most common church in Medford is Methodist.
Let me tell you a Coos Bay story. Like I was out there when I first was doing my Oregon tours. I was out there doing the Coos Bay was part of the tour.
Yeah.
This was years ago, and so afterwards, me and my other comic Don Trinagel, my homeboy, love you Don, Iowa cat. We went out to hang out. It was a group of redneck ignorant fucks, and this girl said to me, white chubby white redneck girl, I fucked a nigger once, like this shit was nothing. Just like she said, I fucked like she just said, I fucked a tomato once. Like that's the way she just said.
Just the words. She
didn't
struggle. It was nothing.
Like, no struggle. I fucked a nigger once, and I was really offended because I wanted to find this nigga and kill him for setting us back.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she said it like it was nothing to us.
What in the Get Out was going on there?
Yeah, what the Get Out was going up there.
That's like sitting down at the Billion Man March.
Yeah,
like you're doing it wrong.
You're not really.
It's like, what you mean you just gonna stop marching right
halfway,
here?
I got halfway through the bridge and I was like,
but
fuck
I'll
this.
never forget that, man. That was one of my Coos Bay stories. So that girl said
crazy.
that, and I knew, and she was ugly as fuck. She looked like her dad. I know she looked like her.
Whatever her dad looked like, she looked like.
I'm just picturing like a bulldog right now.
Yeah, exactly. She just looked like her dad. She was just like this big husky chick, like had calluses on her face. Like, when the fuck? What you doing with calluses on your face?
How'd you get them on there?
And she might not have even been with an actual black man. She just might have fucked a mechanic,
Or
that didn't shower after work. You know what I mean? This is just darker than what she's used to. And then she's telling all her friends, like, "Oh, his name was Tyrone." Like, no, it wasn't. It was TJ, bitch.
So that was that I would say the worst thing I've experienced in Oregon. That was before I even lived here. I think I was still living in Arizona at the time. But yeah, so now I was doing Oregon tours. That's how I landed in Medford doing.
That was in Coos Bay though.
Yep, it was in Coos Bay, bro.
How do you end up over there and you're not even in Oregon?
How do you end up there and think that you're part of the superior race? That's the bigger question. Like, how do you live in Coos Bay and look around and go, like, yep, this is God's people?
You got to understand, the comedy circuit back then was so huge. I would be everywhere. So you have bookers from all over,
right.
regional.
You just kind of went where it was.
Yeah, so I get in contact with bookers or whatever, and man, next thing you know, they got all these runs. It was like, so the booker out here, actually, he had me like, oh yeah, so let me see. He was based out of Vancouver, Washington, and he used to have gigs in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. So I would do Montana tours. I would do Oregon tours. So it was part of that.
Gotcha,
So that's how I did
So in all of those states, like, what was it about Oregon you think makes it stand out? Like, from your standpoint of seeing that and seeing the other states and crowds.
Yeah, okay, because that's a good point. Because I born and raised in Virginia.
Right.
I lived in Wisconsin.
Right.
And Minnesota. And I lived in Arizona. So I just really like credit it to like the law of attraction, like a divine intervention of getting me here, because this is the most loving and most coolest place besides where I was born and raised in Virginia that I ever experienced. But it was just like these.
So, like, as a comic, you think if you're performing to an Oregon crowd, does it feel like you're going to get more leeway? Like you're going to get more love?
Not really. I've done it all. I've been.
You still got to prove yourself.
Still got to prove yourself. Yeah, because the thing is, man, is what I've learned too is when you're going everywhere from Iowa, Mississippi, and I've done all that stuff. Like a lot of comics, especially early on, they got a set. They got a 30-minute set. That's what they do. Hour set. That's what you do.
Word for word.
Yeah,
for
verbatim.
better or worse.
And you take that shit everywhere you go. And then I learned in my journey, you can't. You know what I mean? So
get a backup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I would come to Oregon or wherever, Medford, because this was the first gig I ever did in Medford. Ground Zero.
Ground Zero.
That puts a timestamp on it.
Ground Zero was
that's O's, right?
They
O's
call that shit. Yeah. They call that shit a meat market. That shit was not a fucking meat market.
I never experienced.
That shit was a spam market.
I never experienced candied carpet before until Ground Zero. Like candied carpet, literally.
Ground Zero.
Just a layer
and
of
a buffet.
Depression and desperation and CK1. and whatever the clone was.
Yeah. CK1. Fucking CK1. Yeah, Matty, look, Ground Zero fucking like it was OHP. It was like OHP meets Dance Fever. Like that was just like
OHP.
Just broke ass chicks, just like no fucking well. She wants they should be
Just come tomorrow, but
not on purpose.
She wants. Yeah.
They show all these broke ass single moms, all these broke ass brothers in there trying to get these chicks, and they had a fucking buffet. They had a buffet with like tacos. My
mom was an avid customer there.
Oh, damn.
The great thing about Ground Zero is what it really means. Like Ground Zero is where it's gonna get decimated and get blown to shit because that's Ground Zero. That's right where the worst of the disaster is.
Right.
And that was a great metaphor for what would happen.
Funny.
Like if you went out to get laid at Ground Zero, it was gonna be the worst disaster.
It was some shit. You was gonna wake up to some shit.
And they had a DJ room. Oh God, you remember that fucking gross ass shit? So they had back then. DJs were treated like they were actual musicians. It was kind of strange.
Yeah.
And so you would get these
they were like little
these groupies. Kind of? Yeah, you would get these groupies for a certain DJ, and whenever that DJ would come through town, they were all gonna fuck him. It was it was a weird time. It was very weird because at that point in time, electronic music and dance music was a huge fucking thing. It was taken off. So if you were a DJ, you were almost greater than a rock musician because rock was on the way out and DJ was on the way in. And electronica was on the way in, techno and all that shit. So these DJs would go to places like Ground Zero, and they were not even that great at DJs. They were more I picked the songs in a playlist and hit play. They weren't actually spinning songs and mixing.
Right.
They weren't doing mashups or anything that requires talent. They were pushing buttons. But these nasty ass desperate women at the end of the night, at least I can get dick from the DJ and he'll take me into this. And they had this gross ass.
At least I could get dick from the DJ.
Yeah, they had this gross ass side room that was like DJ dick room, and everybody knew.
It was the DJ BJ room.
You'd see a woman go in there and she looked halfway normal when she came in, and she'd come out and her lipstick is on the side of her face now somehow.
DJ tonight, DJ BJ.
Yeah, it's what do you think happened in there? A fucking remix is what happened in there.
A fucking remix.
Fucking remix.
He remixed the guts. That's what happened.
The fucking he chopped it up and screwed.
Chopped and screwed.
Yeah, so that was my experience. So, and I ended up.
Hopefully, Ground Zero was not like your impression
that was your
of
first experience.
It was kind of weird, man, because so then I met someone here. My kid's mom. I met her.
Yeah.
And I
met my first baby mama.
I had to move out here So Ground Zero was and the booker was based out of Reno, the woman that used to book it. So she used to hit me up because comics would fall out. They couldn't. But I moved it in. So, and I used to go in there and fill in and shit. But my kid's mom was working at Roe Regency and Chadwick's. She was a waitress.
Oh, it all ties in.
Yeah, there we go. So she was a waitress. So management knew of me being a comic. I would come through there, and they asked me to start that show. So in 2005, that's when boom, Chadwick took off.
Jeez.
So that was an amazing.
And now you're 50.
You got a special guest.
One.
He wanted to hear
throw that one on that bitch.
He wanted to hear Carl's origin story.
Hey, go get me some Benadryl.
Right.
This goddamn cat. I'm a
Carl's allergic to pussy.
Yeah.
He wanted to hear your origin story. That's all.
Give me some Benadryl, Levi.
That cat has got significantly
thicker. This cat gonna have me breaking out. This cat gonna give me COVID.
This is the cat that has so many names too.
This cat gonna give me COVID. Give me some goddamn
cat of many names.
Give me some Benadryl.
His current name is actually
and some fentanyl.
What is it? Shank Williams Jr. That's his current name.
Shank Williams.
Shank Williams.
Shank.
So it was crazy because growing up, man, I always gravitated to diversity. Always had different types of races I hung out with. So coming out here,
you always look like a marketing recruitment.
That's
picture.
I always look like a brochure for a university.
You look like the Power Rangers without the outfit.
DeVry class of February.
Well, I mean, you had a black guy, you had an Asian.
You were Voltron without the robots.
We look like something. I look like everywhere I went, Lou Pearlman was trying to put a boy band together. Right.
Yeah, you look like You look like the leftover second choices for all the boy bands, and they recycle them.
I was always the black cool guy in the NBC 90s sitcom.
Hey, Carl, and Carl be like
showing up with a ball. What's up, guys?
Right, and Carl's
You just show up in the scene and everyone's cheering.
and,
Exactly.
and your only line is to be like,
hey guys,
and just smile real wide.
Or you crazy?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
What you talking about?
Look at the camera. Hush your mouth.
Right. Have like a nice little catchphrase. No, you didn't.
No, you did.
Yeah.
Yo, mama.
Yo, mama.
You know, right there, your eye just.
Right.
But I come out here, man, and it was like I didn't hang out a lot. I was going on the road, come home, take care of the household, chill with my kids, do my thing. I didn't hang out a lot. I didn't have a lot. So, but
What was your first impression of Oregon crowds coming from other places?
Nothing.
Any different or
Nah,
kind of the same?
Exactly. It was just
Because I've been told by some comics that they have a unnatural fear of doing political jokes and that lean towards a certain way because they have an impression that Oregon is a little bit conservative and like I can't really do my thing.
Yeah.
But in my experience, like I've seen comics come here and get pretty wild with it and no one ever cared. And there was one comic that came through and his whole routine, he was really good at playing off of what was going on in front of him. And he came through here and he did a whole show basically about how shitty this place was.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
And that can go really wrong in the wrong place.
I've seen that before here too.
If you do it. But it hit really well. And like I think the cool thing was the people here basically went with that premise. They were like, oh, you're going to make fun of us? Okay, we're all in on this. Let's do it. And so that's one thing for me I would say to other comics that might be listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of Oregon. I wouldn't necessarily come here and start, saying you love Kate Brown. Yeah. But outside of that, I think you're going to be fine.
Shit, don't say that,
yeah.
Man.
You can't be pro Kate Brown as a comic in Oregon. Nah. People just cancel you. They don't tell you, but in their minds they cancel you when you're on stage, and they start going to their phone watching TikTok.
Yep.
If you even went on the stage, it might actually be funny to try to, as a comic, see if you could recover from that. Like, hey, you guys love Kate Brown as much as I do.
That'd be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
Yeah, you know what I hate? The fucking economy. Anyway, anybody else here love Kate Brown?
Exactly.
That'd be great.
Oh man, so to me, I don't have much perspective. I'm born and raised here, so I haven't spent a lot of time outside of Oregon. The most time I've spent outside of Oregon would probably be Seattle, that area. I've been up there a lot.
Which is totally different. Seattle's a whole nother world.
Mm-hmm. And this was Seattle, before all of
Nirvana.
Sir
Mix-a-Lot.
No, this is Seattle. This is post Nirvana, but this is pre
Madonna.
What's the homeless section up there that are the
Macklemore,
the big famous. This is pre all of the protesting and everything like that, and Black Lives Matter. So it was still not that it ruined Seattle by any means, but I just mean to say it was a lot more relaxed environment. There wasn't a lot of like craziness going on. So I was lucky enough to be in Seattle when there wasn't tension.
Right. Well, I mean, it was 1950, so of course there was.
It wasn't.
Right. And I over the years as you do, I've been careful with my kills and never been discovered.
My kills.
And
sounds so nuts.
With my kills.
Sounds like a cool thing.
I mean, I do have prominent, sharp. I got the teeth and sure, I got that timeless vampire thing, but who doesn't? That's for somebody else to say and not me. But no, to me, Oregon, the cool thing about this place is that half the people I feel were raised by one culture and became this culture.
Good point.
So like, and that's exactly my story. Like I'm raised on a farm, literal redneck.
Hates country.
Yeah.
Hate country music, end up loving hip hop and rap. Like going as far away as I can to that. And now it's unique because I have both perspectives, which is interesting. Like I get the whole down home values and small town ethics and love and respect and protect your neighbor. Like respect and protect is not a thing in a lot of areas in the country. But at the same time, I also am blessed to not have stayed only that. Like I was able to have amazing experiences because of stepping out of being just that one thing. Yeah. And never would have done comedy if that's all I was going to be. Or never would have done music if that's all I was going to be. I just would have been a farmer.
Right.
Which there's nothing wrong with it. But I find in Oregon that a lot of times, not really as much as a rebellion thing, but as an experiment, the kids go way the opposite direction as the parents. And so like if you're raised by hippie parents, like my Autumn, she's one of our comics at Comedy Underground. She's got these great stories about how, like, you know, she wished that her parents would have spanked her because she had to sit and fucking in a timeout and talk about her feelings for 3 hours. She's like, my friends are getting spanked and it's over in 5 minutes and it's done. And my parents want to talk about the reason why my feelings came up and maybe talk about my heart chakras and them not being aligned. And I got to sit through this fucking bullshit.
I'm pretty sure there's some trauma in both of those.
Right. So she literally became like a Catholic youth counselor. Like she went religious, which is what her parents hate. Her parents hated it, you know, and so it's, but there's a lot of that story.
She rebelled.
Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of story in Oregon where the apple falls way outside of the orchard, and then maybe it rolls back, maybe it does.
Right.
Whereas a lot of time in other states, it's like, oh, my dad was this, and his dad was this, and that's what I am, you know? And it's
that's
like,
a good point. Some states have that family value, keep it in. So my great-grandfather was a lawyer.
Right.
You know, so like
we've always been cops.
I could say some shit like Alabama would be one of those states that like the apple falls
pretty straight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alabama's one of those, you know, it's just a family thing that carried on tradition, education, business, just a lot of like this.
I will say though,
the South. I can say the South.
I will say Oregon women, that's one thing that I do love about the state. There's a unique level of subtle tomboyishness to an Oregon woman, like it's
that's the Midwest,
self-reliance, self-sufficiency.
My lady's a tomboy. She talked about that.
Yeah, it's not a large amount, but it's like you know, and you'd say that same thing probably in Texas and certain states too. But it's like that girl who, you know, she filled her elk tag this year and you didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I didn't shoot my deer this year, but my lady got her elk. You know.
I mean, my lady, she's a tomboy. She'll tell you she was a tomboy, but she's just very handy around the house too. Like,
right.
Just like I'm always hearing the drill go off. Like, God damn, it's 3 a.m. Like, what the fuck she doing? Then you realize she in there masturbating with the goddamn drill.
Right.
That is not
What are you building? Oh, never mind.
Nothing. That's just me
A
and my
relationship.
Ryobi.
I'm sorry.
A relationship.
I'm sorry.
Me and Ryobi in the
Yeah.
closet.
Ryobi.
Right. But no, to me, it's there's like a resilience there that's kind of cool, and it's not just in the farm girl either. It's just I think women in Oregon, even just this weird ass climate, you know, it's hard to be a woman in places where the weather changes a lot because you like your hair and makeup and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you're trying to look good in the
You have
Oregon
to have
climate,
clothes for every
your
season.
hair has to be good for 3 different types of weather. It's just
Good
a different
point.
type of
Yeah.
resilience.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you think a girl in Chicago goes out without hairspray.
Shit. Well, even in like let's say Louisiana, humidity.
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Yeah, you
gotta
think you're
figure
going to
that shit out.
straighten your hair?
Yeah, man.
You
You gotta
Louisiana,
woad
man.
it. Yeah, woad it.
You're going to straighten your
really
hair
good
in
friend from
Louisiana?
Louisiana.
Yeah, you cannot. Don't go out there with a curl.
No.
Don't go with a perm in Louisiana. Even in the South, like
I have a buddy that's from Louisiana. He's like, it be 95 degrees out there, man. Them mosquitoes, they eat your arms up. You still gotta wear them long sleeves.
that motherfucker ain't from the South.
He from Louisiana. Louisiana, he had that list. You could drive through and get some alcohol and go straight home.
Why is it that like 8 out of 10 times that guy works for the post office? Have you noticed that? Why is it everybody from Louisiana has worked for the post office?
You know what's funny? He worked for BLM. He didn't work for the post office, but it's pretty damn close.
Yeah, no.
It's still a government job.
He worked for Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, he did. He started it. He started the Black Guys Bladder movement.
I gotta go to the
Black Guys
bathroom.
Bladder.
I gotta go pee.
Black guy's bladder movement. Literally, Carl
Carl,
leaves the
pee
table.
break, Carl. Carl. All right, well, now that guy's gone.
What's actually happening is I'm like, Carl, go give me a lighter. I need another lighter.
Carl. Carl. Oh, my goodness.
That's a first for us. We lost a member.
We lost him. He's gone. He's gone for good.
Now it's just 2 privileged white guys with a
There you go,
microphone.
Carl. We gotta fill in.
3 privileged white
Welcome
guys
back.
with a microphone.
Welcome back. Welcome
White
back.
privilege.
Guess who's white?
Let me tell you, he gets along
White
with Tuesday
again.
just perfectly well.
We're all white.
Welcome
We're
back
3
to-
friends.
Welcome back to the White Guy
Look
Podcast.
who's white. Look who's white. Look who's white. Look who's white. Yeah, we're kind of we're shades of white.
My basketball name is White Howard.
I'm actually not white. I'm pink.
Oh, well,
I would have gone with glow.
I would say medium rare.
Glow. Medium. just medium. He's definitely rare. You see all the fucking hits he got off his episode?
True.
Right.
True.
Clearly the ladies have spoken, like there's 3 other guys on the podcast, meager numbers.
Apparently we should have Levi up here.
We put Levi in the fucking corner and all of a sudden
Carl didn't actually have to go to the bathroom. We just decided to film.
we knew the ratings weren't there. We're watching the numbers. This is a live show. You guys don't realize it, but we're watching the numbers and Carl got fucking booted.
I think it's funny that you think there's any women that actually listen to this podcast.
We should change our name from Heckleproof to Pussyproof.
Right. Change it.
Yeah. What?
One pussy came in the room and Carl had to flee.
Right. All right.
Carl has fleas? What?
All right, get your ass up. Get out of that seat, man. You got to make way
for you, Carl.
Maybe you could have stayed, but you didn't wear a Corehouse Family Fitness shirt, so you out.
You out. You wore a shirt with your name on it.
Yeah, how
you
self-serving.
Pompous asshole.
Self-serving. So my thing is,
you guys miss me.
Like, I'm from here. You're from here.
I'm from here. Born and raised.
All right.
I
So
came
what does
here.
what does it mean to you? Like, if you, in your mind, somebody tells you, "Oh, I'm a native Oregonian," what does that mean to you as a person who is from here? What do you think it takes to be a native Oregonian?
Well, you have to be from here or live the majority of your life here.
That was insightful. Thank you for that.
That's it. That's all. Good night, folks. That was a good episode.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You got to understand.
Do you just feel like it's any other state, or you think there's
There's things. It's a different. It's a different atmosphere in Oregon than it is anywhere else, in my opinion. At least in the Rogue Valley, for sure.
I think you're just as likely to run into a music concert as you are a rodeo.
Oh, for sure.
You said
there's a lot of diversity.
That's a damn good point.
There's a little bit of Texas here in some ways.
Yeah.
There's a lot
I think
of
if you were a
diversity.
transplant from Texas, you'd feel a little more comfortable here.
Trans Am.
Some ways.
Right.
How was your pee?
It was good, man.
It was good.
It was good. Flowed like the Nile River. It flowed real good.
And then Carl went and used my bathroom. And my bathroom had never been used.
Oh yeah,
in such
you're
a
gonna
way
need
before.
some. You need some air freshener and toilet paper. By the way,
the carpet.
but I love Oregon for its the nature.
Yeah, we got a lot of that.
The outdoors is just amazing. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
And I don't do a lot of hiking. I don't do a lot of that stuff. But it's just what it.
You appreciate
scenery.
other people that hike and
Right.
take
Yeah,
photos.
the scenery, just being out when you're out. You know,
You're like when I'm riding through my car window as I'm driving through without walking. I appreciate the scenery.
there we go.
Right. Best
There you
viewed
go.
from a glass coffin.
That was a lot, though. There's people that come here that, live in these Texas or flatter places where they're like, wow, you guys have mountains?
Yeah.
That's true. Our mountains seem like
Yeah.
mountains
And we're
to
like,
us.
yeah, we have mountains.
Exactly.
But I mean, I
But
lived
then
here.
if you go to Montana, they're like, you don't have mountains.
I lived here. I lived in Colorado, and Colorado was like super mountainous, obviously.
Utah has like
Yeah, so
Utah.
you're like, I mean, you're used
Colorado.
to it because you've seen mountains here, obviously. So, but it's a different.
It's
type
a different,
Of, it's
yeah.
a different. I feel like all
our
these places
mountains are
I've
A
been to are.
cups. They're A cups.
Yeah, they're different beauties though. But then you come here and like you have
A-cup
everything. We have
mountains.
so many lakes. We have so many mountains we can hike or trails we can hike.
Yeah.
Somebody
places
once
we can
told me
camp.
45 minutes. 45 minutes from whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Mm.
Right? So you're 45 minutes from a river, 45 minutes from a lake, 45 minutes from a concert, 45 minutes from historical, 45 minutes from, gold mining, 45 minutes from, all these different things.
Well, that's a good point because that's one thing I love about. Okay, I grew up in Virginia. We call it 7 cities.
Mm-hmm.
Tidewater, Hampton Road, 7 cities. You had 7 cities like the size of Portland next to each other, miles away, a few miles away. So then I go to a little small college town in Wisconsin, and right next door is Minnesota. I live there, a little small town. Then I go to Phoenix, boom, back to the big city.
Right.
It served its purpose. It was fun. It was good. Then I come here, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Portland is how many miles away? Hours away.
4 hours.
And Seattle.
Right.
7,
And the Bay Area.
4 or 5.
Yeah, Sacramento. So I'm like, man, this is dope. I can go to all these nice major cities and do
not
what I
have
want
to
do
live in them.
and come right back. LA too. That's why I used to do a lot of flying going to LA because it was like everything was so convenient for me.
Right.
And I can just come back here and just little valley and enjoy myself and rejuvenate. And that's one thing I appreciate. Like everything, I can go out there and get all that and come right back and chill out instead of being in that mix of that saturation or whatever it could be. And that's one thing I love about being in this particular part of Oregon, Southern Oregon, is the access we have to a bigger social scene for a minute. You know, you can do some shopping, you can do these things, and you know, and then come right back here and chill out.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. Another weird thing about it to me is like we have a little bit of leftover Wild West in Oregon in some ways. There's
I
still
can see that.
big chunks of the
Wild West.
of the state you drive through, and it's just long
Wild
fields. And
Eastern Oregon
cows
is way
and
different
sheep
than
and,
it is to over here, for sure.
Right, and in that way, it's almost like somebody even told me who had gone to Ireland. They're like, Oregon and Ireland have some similarities to them. There's so much green, number one, and so much open land and different things, but
there's not a lot.
I think there's also a vibe that's a little different.
What did you say? I didn't hear
He's
you.
like, Oregon and Ireland a lot alike. I said, yeah, there's not a lot of black people.
Oh,
You said
he's never been to Portland.
he's never seen the Trailblazers game.
That's
No.
Oh, Black Leprechaun.
Yeah, you might not know this about Oregon, but only Portland. All the black folks have migrated there. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Zach would like
Which
to
people
share with
don't
you.
know. Portland has a huge black population. At one point, the state of Oregon did not allow blacks. It was a law that blacks couldn't live in Oregon.
when was that?
Oh man, they just took it out the Constitution.
It was like 6.5 months ago, I think.
It was like 2016. What the fuck?
Right?
No,
No,
it was
seriously.
sooner than you think. It
That's
was
why
in
we
the
suck
90s.
at basketball.
It was like in the late 80s.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Wow, what?
They wasn't.
I feel like everybody liked Eddie Murphy enough. Things started changing.
Raw came out and they're like,
even
places,
places like here, the farmers, they saw Eddie Murphy and they're like, oh, I mean,
it was before Raw
fine.
because Clyde Drexler came.
Oh,
It was
okay.
right during
Okay.
Delirious.
Clyde.
Yeah, so that was a law, man, and it was.
Dang, what?
Yeah, it's amazing when you think about that. Like, wow, you motherfuckers made a law to keep blacks from out. Like, but
I mean, I didn't make the law.
yeah, well, yo, great.
But it's funny because it's gone really fast. It's gone from a place where when I grew up, it was mostly farmers, like especially in Eagle Point, which is the area I grew up. It was like mostly farms and farmers. And by the time I was leaving high school, 80% of those farms were done.
Yeah.
And there were people who just bought those properties because they had a lot of land and maybe they had some livestock, but they weren't like actually farmers. They were just regular people who were like, oh, this is pretty. This is cool. It's out in the middle of nowhere, whatever. And it happened that fast. It happened in 18 years where you could see people riding horses on a paved street. Like literally, like there was hitch posts at high school where you could tie your horse down. When you rode into high school, you could tie your horse up. Wow. I mean, it was that shit was, and it's funny. It seems like such a big, like bygone era, but that was very much like when I grew up here, that was still happening. And then not even 6 years ago, there was a guy who like tried to steal something at a Walmart, and there was literally a guy on a horse who roped him.
Yeah.
It was in the news.
Eagle Point, he roped him.
That makes sense.
It's still
that
actually
makes
kinda,
sense.
There's still that.
Went viral.
I like that though.
There's still that
I like
element.
Well, even since like the 90s when I was a kid, so much stuff has changed.
Tell me
around
something
here. And
like.
I mean, I remember when they had like I went bowling yesterday with my girlfriend and her family, and we went to Roxanne, went to Lava. I was like, man, when I grew up,
Roxanne was
I
the
used
only
to-
one.
I was like, man, I went bowling in Medford Lanes right there off Riverside, right there where Kids Unlimited's at.
Oh, dope. Okay.
That's where because I lived right around the corner on.
They
Haven
weren't the
right
only
there.
one because there was them and then there was Ashland.
Yeah.
Ashland
So,
had
but like the first two, so Roxanne opened in like 1959 when Carl was born, and then.
That wasn't when Carl was born. That's when he
It's
graduated
just
high
the
school.
way he
that's
just
right.
said that
That's
shit
right.
as a fact. Like it was just a
Confidence.
Right about the time the world
Confidence.
became color, you know, when we went from black and white to
Yeah.
color. And, right,
Yeah.
You know, AKA.
Well, speaking of,
And then actually
shit.
Medford Lanes used to be where you know where Chip Wright's Karate's at across from Jefferson Spirits, right by the strip
Right,
club?
yeah, yeah.
It used to be right there in 1959, and then moved it over to Medford Lanes at Roxy or at Riverside right there. And now it's all like Kids Unlimited. But I've seen that that changed. They didn't have the shopping center where Marshalls and Dick's and none of that. That was all just field. And they
It's
had
too
a
bad
tool
that that's a
store
Kids
there.
Unlimited and not an America's Best Kids.
Yeah.
Ding, plug. You know what's so funny is like not being from here, people, would say stuff to me about, well, so-and-so used to be over there. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I wasn't here then,
We had Chuck E. Cheese here.
Yeah, see, people bring that up like, I don't know.
We had Chuck E. Cheese where the old TJ Maxx was.
My favorite, this is a fun fact. You'll love this one because, like I said, I got some redneck roots. So I used to be a hunter. It was like required in order for you to prove you were male. Back then, you had to learn how to hunt. And so where Costco now is, that's where I used to dove hunt.
Oh, it makes sense. Because that was off field.
And it was the weirdest thing ever because we would literally pull off of the highway, turn left, and drive not even a half mile, park the truck, and be hunting. Like right where the highway was.
Right.
And that was very normal. There was multiple hunters.
None of that stuff was there. Sonic and all that stuff that's behind it, none of that was there.
You went dove hunting.
So
this is what it sounds like
when doves die. Yeah. Maybe I'm just like my father. I like to blow shit up. Yeah. And the worst part about all of it was like none of that shit's good. It's like elk. Elk is good.
That's what I heard. I heard elk
is fire. You haven't had no elk?
That's another good point.
Deer is only okay.
But that's another good point.
Wild turkey is fucking horrible compared to like regular
It's the
turkey.
Wildlife, the gaming, gaming.
There's very few animals that are actually worth really eating
elk
as far as like going to all the effort. Unless
bear's
you're
like good for like jerky and stuff.
See, this is the conversations
bear
that you won't have in every area like this. I hear a lot of people talk to me about elk and what else? Somebody asked me, you ever had any goat? Like, what the hell?
Goat?
Well, it was interesting because there was a dude that illegally. What in the fuck is Levi?
What is Levi doing?
Levi is always doing something.
If you guys could see,
he's
Levi
literally
right
not
now,
see him.
He's air fucking a goat. That's
what he's doing.
He's a goat fucker.
Yeah,
Levi is the goat.
Sorry to bring that visual in there, but you have to see what we're forced to see. Yeah, okay. Our loyal
we
viewers.
had to give you the visual because we already got the visual.
But the weird thing is like all of that comes together in the weirdest fucking way in places like Eugene and Ashland, where you have these major clashes of culture because there's still a lot of farmland in Ashland and there's still all the most progressive area other than Portland in our state is Ashland. It's funny how the two most progressive areas are like pushed to the very outskirts.
That's
of the city.
and the fucking
border.
Right
here.
We keep you guys way out here.
On your way to Washington, on your way to California, do that shit. But that's a good point, man, because what was it about Ashland that made that like our gay rights capital?
I think it's because they got the Shakespeare Festival. They got all the the entertainment.
It was supposed to be a tourist trap. That was the whole intention of Ashland. There was some cool history there, and it was right over the border. So it was easy for a Californian to come across and check it out. But the main idea behind Ashland was that it was supposed to be like this little quaint border town. We're going to make it really cool. It was Shakespearean themed, so all of the shops were like little hamlets, and everything looked the part. And as people visited it, it became the aesthetic. It was like, oh, we all kind of like this look and we want to live in this place. It's visually pleasing and people are pretty progressive and cool. Right. But there was always this kind of clash of culture because right up in the hills were all these old farmers that had lived there forever. And all of a sudden now, like, what are these kids with all their green hair? And it was a lot of change coming at them really fast for the people in the hills, so to speak. And so it kind of was this clash. But more and more artists came, and more people who didn't fit in other places. Like, let's say you were Californian, but you weren't L.A. and you weren't Bay Area, and you didn't know where to go, and you weren't Oregonian. But there was this weird little place you could go and you kind of fit in, and everybody there was also very esoteric, and maybe they didn't fit in. And in the beginning, it was an amazing, beautiful experiment, like it always is. And then over time, unfortunately, in these places, like it happens in a lot of trendy areas where property values go up and investors come in and people from out of state start buying it up. And pretty soon the people who grew up here can't afford to live here anymore and they all have to move out. And it's like you've seen it over and over and over again in all of the best places.
Gentrification.
So what happens, though, is you end up with these weird alcoves. So the Ashland's one of them because the farmers won't leave and the progressives love it. They're not leaving. And the farmers don't really fuck with them that much, and they don't really fuck with each other that much. But, you know, if they were to talk on an interview, they would be of opposing viewpoints. And then you have Eugene, which is kind of the same way. It's like farmers colliding with college students. And it's not the same as Portland, which would be a good point to make on the podcast, is that don't judge us by Portland just because there's weird shit in Portland.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
it's not all of Oregon.
Yeah, but you know, because people, my homies will hit me up, man, what's going on in Portland?
Because trust me, people from
I know as much as you know.
Yeah.
people from Pendleton, not the same.
Not even close.
Not the same. I mean,
Not the same as the people from
not the
Medford.
same.
Not the same as the people from Eugene.
Ontario, Oregon.
I look at
Not the
Oregon
same.
as a
LaGrange.
state where you have so many different types of people just a town over.
Yeah. Because everybody has their own thing. Southern Oregon has their own thing. Central, Eastern has their own thing.
They're all different atmospheres.
Levi, where did you grow up? Compton.
Condon.
Oh, that explains it. Oh,
City of Condon.
City of Condon. Straight out of Condon. Our brother named Levi.
He grew up in a condom.
Famous town in Oregon.
Right.
Where's that near? Where's that?
Hermiston, Pendleton.
Hermiston,
Ooh,
watermelons.
Watermelons.
Which, again, is an Eastern.
Don't look at me when you said watermelons. What the fuck is that?
I just looked at how you
He
said
looked at
it.
me like, you want to go for it?
I'm like, watermelons, right, Carl?
That's what I waited for. Like,
Carl, watermelons, right?
but you know what's so crazy is? So this is what I used to hear. This is what I hear a lot still. People think like it's so racist out here. White people who don't play that shit, that racist shit,
Right.
you know, are very protective of, you know, of me experiencing that. And they would say to me, it's so racist out here. How you out here? I'm like, I haven't experienced it like that. I mean, I live in all the states I name, I lived in, and you experience it. But, you know, when they say this shit to me like the sundown law,
Right.
you know, it used to be the sundown. I'm like, I have no fucking clue, you know.
I've seen it.
And
I've
it's
seen
weird
it
because
happen.
it's in little shitty ass towns that
I've seen it happen.
no Negroes will be passing by just to drop off that ugly white bitch that they.
Well, I've definitely
I'm
seen
dropping
it.
you off.
I've
bitch,
seen
and I'm
people
out.
come through
After the
and
sun
try
down.
to
Exactly.
and try to live here and get run out. I've seen it actually happen before.
Yep.
But honestly, in the probably about the time when In Living Color came out and Cross Colors, and I've talked about this before.
Cross colors, the hip hop gear, baby, hip hop culture.
It was a big fucking deal. What comedy did to allow white people to become comfortable with other cultures, it was a big thing.
True. That's a good point.
As mine started to change, I saw it start to change, but I also was alive for the part of the time where it was the old Oregon, and it wasn't, I mean, man, you would be hard pressed to find anyone who was even of any kind of color.
Woo, I know. I believe it.
And then in the 80s, all of a sudden, there became like a really thriving Mexican community, and that was around the orchards and everything.
Yeah.
And people were kind of like nervous about it when it happened. Like, there's a lot of them. And then nothing happened, and there was no badness, and
Nothing happened.
nothing happened.
Oh.
And the white people looked around and were like, we love pears, and this is good.
Yep.
And the minds opened a little bit.
Mhm.
And even my grandfather, he was pretty racist against all sorts of different types of people, but he was open to Mexicans. And I even asked him why, and he's like, they're farmers. Like he just
Not a threat.
well, no, he saw himself in them, like they're
very
farmers.
Good point. I
right?
like
You know?
that.
But he still was prejudiced against other people, you know. But again, minds were changing. But it's interesting now because I think that there's a lot here for people to come and see who are from anywhere that's not like Oregon. Like I don't care what your culture is, but if you've never been around people that grow their own food or raise cattle for meat or have farms of any kind, it's worth coming to check it out. It's kind of an interesting thing, seeing where your food comes from.
I'm okay with being out of my comfort zone, whatever that look like. Some people, you got like I come across a lot of blacks who come to Oregon who might have came from Detroit, who might have came from Philadelphia, whatever, and be like, "Oh my God, this is so different." Like, well, no shit. That's you go anywhere. If you go
what
to,
do you expect it to be?
if you go to Houston, you're
It
gonna
feels exactly-
experience
I'm
something
at
that's
home.
totally different from Philly.
Oh, yeah.
No matter like that's
If
just
I go to Louisiana, I want it to be different.
yeah, exactly.
That's the point of
And
me
for
going.
sure.
Yeah.
sure.
So like, but yeah, take the opportunity to embrace what's popping off
Yeah.
around here, and you'll be all right. You'll be amazed at how it changes your judgment because you so used to seeing people like you.
Right.
That's how you function, feel safe. But I enjoyed over my years of growing up of just being able to leaving Virginia was like the best thing I did because I got to Wisconsin. I was like, oh, this is some crazy shit because it was because I wasn't a drinker. I didn't drink until I was like 23. I saw people getting liquor wasted. I realized that's what you do in this part of the country. Oh, Wisconsin is drinking.
It's part of the culture.
And then it was it was like no diversity in that part of the country. Iowa, certain parts of Minnesota, certain parts. So a lot of guys I knew didn't have that diversity in their life. They were very ignorant. So I come through, they learning from me.
Right.
And then I go to Arizona. Boom, Hispanic community. I'm like, wow. I learned a lot about Hispanics like that. And I was like, man, this is, I didn't.
And man, if you, I don't even want to think about it, but if there's still somebody listening to this that's like questioning other races.
Yeah.
And maybe changing your viewpoints. Maybe you don't like it. You're uncomfortable outside of your own, just being open and honest. If that's your thing, consider trying Mexican first. It is a really fun culture to learn about, and they will open their arms.
The food's great.
And especially even if you tell a Mexican, like, look, I've always kind of been a little nervous, and I want to know a little something more about the culture, and I would love to come and like actually hang out. Their eyes will light up. They love that.
Yeah.
Because they hate the stereotype as much as everybody else. It's like, man, beautiful, beautiful people. So inclusive. Rich family traditions.
Very
like
family oriented.
If you went to like a family barbecue within 45 minutes, you're going to feel like you're part of that family.
Yep.
If you're invited to that barbecue, man. And
that's what I grew up doing.
There's a lot of races that aren't that way. There's a lot of races that are kind of watch you a little bit. Make sure you're cool first. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's fine. Everybody's different. But I will just say, if you're like, I don't know, maybe I'll step outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Make yourself some friends.
Yeah. So what Matt is trying to say is, if you see me and a Mexican, go to the Mexican first.
Right. What I'm saying is cross the street.
Me.
Like if you're walking
Carl
down
ain't gonna share shit.
Cross the street.
Yeah, if you're walking down and you see Carl coming at you, cross the street
and go to that Mexican.
and go to the Mexican instead.
Carl ain't gonna share shit.
Is that actual reverse racism?
No, it's diagonal racism.
It's
it's proactive.
Diverse racism.
It's proactive.
You know what it is? It's inclusive racism.
Yeah.
Because I'm including more than
watch.
It's diverse racism.
That's what it is.
That's what I told Levi earlier. I only make black jokes because representation matters. Oh, yeah. Riding that edge.
Yeah.
Another thing I love about Oregonians, open to arts.
Yeah.
You can go to Portland and check out an opera. You can go see a rodeo. You can go to a cosplay / role-playing medieval festival. You can find a Viking-themed event with competition. There's arm wrestling events in Oregon. There are
adult shops,
cow racing events.
I mean,
I think that the interesting thing about Oregon is like, it's like late night on MTV used to be. You have no fucking idea what was going to come at you, but you knew it was going to be
come at you. Get
odd.
it? Cinemax.
Right.
You have no idea what's coming at you.
Cinemax.
I said
Similax. You say it different.
But Cinemax and HBO were like that at night.
Yeah.
You never knew. It was like, it's going
Skinemax.
down.
That's kind of like Oregon. If you go to a party in Oregon, it could be a lot of different things.
Oh yeah.
Well, even Medford, man, like you bringing up all the diverse they can bring. You bring a rodeo. They bring monster trucks.
Right. That's not much diversity. Those are all. That's kind of in the same.
Yeah, but it's like
they do rap.
Not really.
They do rap
Yeah.
stuff.
You got some monster
Carl's
truck
like,
dudes.
they have like gravel roads you can drive down and you can put your tailgate down, and they got calf wrestling, and then they also got the rodeo, and then also they got the Grand Ole Opry, which is nice.
But no, some monster trucks.
A lot of cultural diversity.
They won't fuck with a rodeo.
Oh yeah, no.
They look at them like fucking broke back and fucking rodeo.
Only Big and Rich. Only the guys from Big and Rich embrace the culture.
There we go. But marijuana has drew a lot of people out here.
Oh yeah.
And I've come across a lot of guys who were from the South, East Coast, wherever, who came out here for the marijuana, and they loved it. I could say Southern Oregon, they loved this part of the
Right.
Right.
I don't know if they're too familiar with the Portland, but if you coming out here, you end up like, doing whatever you can to connect with the growers all through Oregon. So
it draws a lot of people.
So a lot of them come out here because my brother loves it out here. My brothers come out here a few times to visit, but it draws a lot of people and they love it. They come out here.
Imagine if it gets federally legalized, how many people are going to be.
There's already a lot of people come here and invest in stuff like that. I have some clients.
It's like if you're like ultra conservative and you really fear marijuana being legalized, but you own property in Southern Oregon, you're kind of shooting yourself in the own dick. Because if it actually became federally legal, your property value would quadruple. Just saying.
I think Oregon's medical field is like one of the best payers for like nurses.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
A lot of nurses, traveling nurses, pick Oregon.
There's a lot of people that like silent investors and stuff too with the marijuana stuff since it's so legal here. I have clients that they have like rentals that they sell and buy better rentals now. They bought back when the market crashed and stuff, and their granddaughter does Airbnb over at like off North Phoenix, Cherry Lane, that area, Cala Vista, and they had Kevin Garnett stayed at their Airbnb and rented one of their Mercedes, and he was looking at properties to grow marijuana around here. And I mean, you get that all the time. Like I feel like people come up here and invest, and obviously they're
kind of late to the party, but
yeah, a little late, but I mean, it is what it is. But
yeah, because celebrities move out here, to live on these little.
We said it before. We're trying to maybe we get Belushi on the show one day.
There we go.
He's one of the people that moved out here, and he's got Belushi Farms and does quite an operation out there. They took an old property that is probably too much for most people to really be able to reclaim and turned it into this really amazing property that kind of brings community events and all sorts of things and massive farm. Maybe one day we'll get him on the show. We can smoke some Belushi weed. It's a challenge, Belushi. If you're hearing this or if people are hearing this,
you come smoke some weed.
Yeah, come smoke with the Heckleproof crew, or at least one of us. These motherfuckers.
Zach gets high part 2.
All it takes is $1,500. Like it's actually a thing. If you got every able-bodied 21 and year older person to spend $1,500 a year at the dispensary, it would completely turn around Oregon's economy in a single year.
Wow.
But y'all people are selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't care about Oregon's economy. Like, I don't smoke weed.
Right.
Yeah. Carl.
Damn right I know.
Carl out here.
I sell it.
So I smell it every year.
What you got, Carl?
What
you doing?
Oh, I was looking up, trying to find what I was saying regarding to highest paying states. Okay. And I know Oregon falls in the top 20.
For nursing and like medical field?
Well, just period in a lot of areas.
Periods.
I think even in teaching.
We have the most periods.
Yep. Because you got the most bitches out here. That's why.
There might be a high concentration of Karens in certain parts of Oregon.
Karens.
Well, I was looking at all the news stories and everything. We always do our news stories. We always do our facts and everything. And the funny thing is, like, man, I have tried to find you guys a fucked up Oregon story.
Oh, wow.
Oregon's right now, you know what Oregon's doing? They're that kid, that little disobedient kid, right? But Christmas is almost here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's being real good. That's what Oregon's doing. Like, I know Oregon is capable of giving me a fucked up story. I mean, we had the lady that fed her ex-husband to her pigs and all that.
Yeah.
We've had some messed up shit happen here.
Gold Hill.
And of course, now that I get a podcast and a format, and a place to share Oregon,
nothing's happening.
Nothing's popping up.
Oregon just be normal as fuck. You normie motherfuckers. Right. Oh, who cares about serial killers?
They're just passing through. They're just stopping for
You know what?
weed.
I'm not trying to step on Shane Bishop's dick. He's going to cover the murders and let him do it. We're not going to do it better. We're not going to do it better.
That's hilarious.
You going to out-report Shane Bishop? No, you're not. Not on Heckleproof.
No, you're not going to out.
Shout out Shane.
Shout out to Shane.
Shout out Shane.
So, Carl, what you got for some news stories?
Actually, we talked about let's see what's up for Oregon.
Some Oregon fun facts.
Let me see.
Fun fact Oregon. Hey, what the fuck?
Oregon facts.
Hell's Canyon.
Ooh, I used to go fishing up there.
Hell's Canyon. And where's that located?
In there.
It's like Eastern Oregon. It's like the border of Oregon, Washington, Idaho.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he's
corner Oregon.
Where is it then, Matty? Where is it?
I go up there.
Matty just not gonna say shit.
I swear, I go up there, Copperfield,
Matty
Oregon.
just gonna
right
say
there.
no.
Copperfield. Hell's Gate.
Well, it's the deepest river gorge in the United States?
River Gorge.
Hell's Canyon.
Yes,
the
sir.
deepest river gorge.
We go camping there all the time.
Oh, in 1949. Oh, at 19.
Carl don't know how to read.
When Carl
1949
graduated.
feet deep.
Right.
What is that? What is
Probably, I'm going to guess.
1949 feet deep?
Is it like the largest? Is it like the deepest?
Deepest lake in
Only
the
thing I can think of
United
is Crater
States.
Lake. Crater
There you
Lake.
go. There you go.
Figured that's probably what it is. That's a huge. That's like a national monument. Right?
Oh, and Oregon
You're
has
a national monument.
the most of these in any state.
Transgenders.
Well, we about to get canceled.
Either that or
Fuck you, Zach.
joined
Fuck you, Zachary.
State
Oregon-
parks.
Ghost towns.
trees.
Oh,
trees
ghost
is the
towns.
actual answer.
Mhm.
Trees.
That's good in both forms.
Yeah. Unemployment claims.
Ghost town.
Give us another
Kate,
fact.
thank you, Kate Brown.
Kate Brown.
That was good, man.
Breweries, that would be a good one. Microbreweries.
That's good, yeah.
Specifically.
Okay, oh, you got any more
What
facts?
else?
Carl?
You know what else Oregon would have the most of? Subarus. I'm going to go
That's
out on a
true.
limb. I'm going to say Subaru.
Oregon and Colorado's a close second.
Washington and Oregon.
I actually drive a Subaru.
Yeah, of course you do.
A Subaru Forester.
Ooh, you got the lesbian edition too.
Yep. I call it my lesbian assault vehicle.
Urban lesbian assault vehicle. All right, hit us up again, man.
No, let's do some. Hit it, Zach.
Uh-oh.
Hey, what the fuck?
Facts.
Yeah, check this out, guys. So this is something we love to do. As you know, our fun facts is very popular. We get a lot of requests like,
Popular.
you guys, make sure you do fun facts, and we don't want to disappoint you. So ancient Chinese physicians keep a small ivory medical doll in their desk to help them treat female patients. Why do you think that is? It's a
small ivory metal doll.
medical doll
Medical doll.
in their desk to help them treat female patients.
A voodoo doll?
Why do you think that is? Now think about again, like I said, it's Chinese physicians. So what do you think it could be?
It says it's like is it like
Historical. It's an ancient
it's like a
thing
crystal
that they-
thing, like the crystal stuff? That kind of thing?
If it's a doll,
It's an ivory medical doll.
I'm
Bring
gonna.
good spirits.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, I got you deep now. So
I'm
here
gonna
it is.
say miscarriage.
Well, because female patients who were forbidden from showing too much skin to a male other than their husband, women seeking medical attention will point to the areas on the doll where they had discomfort.
Oh, so it's modesty.
yes.
It's modesty. Wow.
Mhm.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
Right here.
Because I have
Exactly.
zero modesty.
Right.
And I know no one
You
who
just be
does.
lifting up your
None
nut
of my
sack.
friends.
It's right here.
Yeah,
right
that's
here.
where the
It's
lesion
like,
is.
sir, I'm a mechanic. Put your balls away.
The lesion is clearly right here, sir.
Yeah, right here. It hurts right here.
Yeah, exactly.
My taint's more like a tisn't. Can you look at it?
Tisn't.
Now, we do this whenever we go out to a lot of events, a lot of times now.
Pre-funk.
A study found that taking lots of these at an event will actually decrease your ability to build memories of it.
Methamphetamines.
You said Viagra, you said what?
Methamphetamines.
Damn, you don't want those at the same time.
Taking
You be fucking in a rush.
Wait, say it one more time. Say the whole thing.
All right.
Taking a lot of these.
A study found that taking lots of blank at an event will actually decrease your ability to build memories of it.
Shots.
Mm-mm. See, I love the
Photos.
guessing, though. My man, good job.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Because you're not living in the moment.
You're not living in the moment,
So
exactly.
you don't remember
Because
shit.
if I'm not drinking, I'm doing selfies. That's how I knew that. Because, you know,
And honestly, a lot of artists nowadays, concerts, whether stand up or
I hardly take anything.
they don't let you have your cell phones in there anymore.
no selfies.
Especially stand up. They don't like
Please, no phone.
because they're filming specials.
And now you sending it out.
No,
You know, fucking it up for.
You know the reason why it used to be, like before they cared about you putting it out there, because no one had an audience in the beginning. Like, I don't care if your 5 friends saw it, but now everybody's got like 400 friends.
400
on Facebook.
friends,
It
yep.
makes a difference.
Exactly.
But it was the flash in the beginning, because a performer, if you hit him with a flash at the wrong time, it can actually make you forget.
That's what I was going to ask.
It's like a
Yeah.
mental thing, and,
Yeah.
and a flashing strobing light you're not expecting.
Flashing.
You're in the middle of singing your lyrics. You might forget your shit.
shooting stars.
All right, here's my last one.
Okay.
In the late 19th century, the Sears catalog,
Sears Roebuck,
AKA the first Playboy,
used to offer a blank kit, including a syringe, 2 needles, and 2 vitals of this for only $1.50 or slightly less than $50 adjust for inflation.
abortion.
So it was a
Just
kit.
a regular sewing kit.
Now hear what I said. Now the key word is what I said is including a syringe, 2 needles,
yeah, and I said abortion,
and vitals of this stuff.
cocaine,
Close, Matty.
heroin.
Yes.
Yep.
yeah, I was just gonna say that.
But you fucking
But you didn't.
How about that?
You
huh?
didn't.
I was gonna say, but the thing is,
But
I
you
was
didn't.
listen. I was gonna say it as a joke. I wasn't gonna say
You
it
should've-
seriously.
It's seriously though.
What?
Heroin kit.
Well, because a lot of drugs back then were not
Drugs.
recreational
medical.
street drugs. Yeah,
Right.
straight up.
Right.
Like, well, Molly before it was Molly was called what?
Marcy.
Karen.
Marcy or Karen. Yeah.
Yeah, Karen. instead of Molly.
Darcy.
It was
MDMA.
well, just yeah. And so, what was it used for?
I don't know.
To
Concerts.
to improve.
Concerts.
Yes, to help you get
make
through,
EDM
to help you
bearable.
get through a Fleetwood Mac concert. It was like I
To
can't
help
watch
me
this
make
shit.
Migos bearable.
I can't watch this shit.
What were they used for?
But it was used to help the couple improve their sexual life.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what it was for them to get some like I hate this bitch, but this shit got me wanting to lick his ass.
Fucking eating fucking
Yeah.
anything. Fucking electrical outlets
Exactly.
in the house.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
doing this stuff.
I like the
Let's do
idea
it.
that at one point in time when you just had a shitty sex life, the answer was just, yeah, you should both be on drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like you're never gonna get better on your own.
We
It's
never-
clearly you can't ever.
How do we
improve,
fix this?
so-
You
we
don't.
never
Here's some
talk.
deterrents.
We never talk. She
Just
doesn't touch
medicate
me.
you.
She don't want to be around me. You ever use heroin? What?
Right, right. It's like, man,
Give you a hallucinogenic. Fuck whoever you want.
Yep.
my lady's way too uptight in bed. Like, have you ever tried cocaine?
Exactly.
Medical grade, of course.
Have you ever put this in her ass?
She never
What?
does anything around the house. She's lazy. You ever familiar with methamphetamine?
Methamphetamine.
No. What is that?
They'd have some catchy ass slogan
It's a
too.
good
It'd be
house
like,
cleaner.
Methamphetamine, get more done faster.
Bigger, faster, stronger. Kanye's out there producing shit for meth.
Get
Yeah.
more done.
What you mean?
faster.
I gotta do shit on methamphetamine. Ooh, I gotta clean. Let me get a hit of that methamphetamine.
Yeah.
A hit of that. Let me get a hit of that. I'm glad it didn't sound like the right lingo. I'd be more concerned if you're like, yeah, dog, like from beat up from the feet up. You know, I'd be like, dude, Zach, what's wrong with you?
Beat up from the feet up.
There's certain things that you could say as an Oregonian, and people are like, he on meth. He
Beat up
on the
from the
meth.
feet up.
He
From
on
the
meth.
feet up.
Yeah. Can your car run without a Cadillac converter?
Cadillac converter.
That's what they call it. It's great. You get the Cadillac. You got that Cadillac converter, son. I can get like I get 3 meths.
3 meths.
Get like 3 meths
I
from
get 3 meths from a
single
Cadillac.
Cadillac converter.
Cadillac converter.
Converts a regular car into a lac.
Oh man, those are some crazy.
That
facts.
is.
This is a good one. You know the statues of War Hero, where there's a person on a horse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, so this is fun. Fact.
General Lee.
Fun fact about these statues.
General Tso's chicken.
This is something that most people don't know. Not necessarily a what the fuck fact, but an interesting fact. If a statue in the park of a person on a horse has both legs of the horse in the air, what does that mean? If the horse has 2 legs in the air, what do you think that means?
Oh, like this. Okay, like Lone Ranger when he used to end it with "Hi, old silver." And
Yep.
Does that mean they?
Victory.
What do you think?
I don't know, something like that, or they like died on the horse, not on the horse. Or
Zach is actually correct.
Ooh.
If a statue has a person where the horse's 2 front legs are both in the air, that person has died in battle.
Oh,
That was dope.
Right.
I was close too. I said.
What do you
That
think?
ain't victory. No,
What do you-
'cause
they
they lost.
yeah, they died in battle.
Yeah,
they
they
lost.
died. We died. Let's ride. We died. Let's ride.
If the horse has 1 leg, 1 front leg in the air, what do you think happened?
Another soldier died.
The horse
Now that-
died. The horse died in battle.
That would be good. I like that. It's like, why even have that statue with the person? Fuck that. It's the horse.
Just the horse.
The statue is to
One leg? Does that have anything to do with
This
victory?
was a good ass fucking horse. We're gonna honor the shit out of it. So one leg in the air meant that the person died, but later on. So that they just from their wounds and battle, they died later on.
Gotcha.
If the horse has all 4 legs on the ground, then that person just died of natural causes.
Ooh.
Oh, interesting.
So that's
So they won't. So
little trivia. The next time you see a statue with somebody on a horse,
There you
know.
go. That's another fun fact I can tell people.
Right. It won't get
died in
you.
the sleep.
It won't get you laid, but it might be one of those.
Died in his sleep. Look at him, girl.
Might want to be one of those.
All
trivia
4
nights.
planet. All
Yeah.
4 feet of planet. Died in his sleep.
Yeah, me is worthless. Didn't even honor him.
What happens if the horse is crushing the man? Like the horse is falling over and the man's underneath the horse.
Are you serious? That's another one?
No, but that should be.
I was about to say like that.
It's like,
was-
you know
That
what
means
that
the
means?
fucked up statue.
That's
They
a
messed
fucked
it
up
up.
statue.
No, it
Like,
means that horse was like, fuck this war.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
I'm out.
All right. What do you think the word testify is based around? Any guesses?
Test.
I don't know what Levi just did, but I don't think it has anything to do with testify. Telling.
I mean, we all know what the actual word
Yeah.
means, but
Where
the
originates.
idea here is like, everything's based on Latin. So like, what's the word testify?
Yeah, okay.
Testicles.
What's it mean?
Mm.
Your
You're saying testicles.
testicles.
What do you think it means?
Getting tested.
Ah,
with
that's
someone.
that's a deep because like testament, test. Oh, I'm breaking out everything. You know how they.
Right.
So that's deep.
So you're looking at it more like a trial, like a test of a person.
No, I'm looking at it like what the word testimony means, what it means to testify. So what that word test
touch the sky.
means in that.
So.
So the word testify is based on the ancient Roman practice of making men swear on their testicles while making a statement in
Levi
court.
just did that.
Yep. Yep. Off camera, Levi is
Levi, you got to give us better hints.
he's been
I
off camera. He's been
Damn, Levi.
aggressively
I know.
pointing to his nuts.
Just
the whole
pull your
time.
balls out next time. That's what, duh.
Right.
That makes that's deep.
And what it would mean is like, let's say the king came to collect a debt. And you said, I'm sorry I haven't paid the debt. It's been a rough season, but I know that I'm going to be able to pay it by midway through the next year. And it would be like, swear on your nuts. And if you didn't, they would come collect.
How do you swear on your nuts? You
Just
hold
say
them out,
these nuts.
grab
These
them.
nuts.
These nuts.
These nuts.
I'll have your money by Friday. These nuts.
nuts.
You know, like I swear on my mama's grave. I swear on my nuts.
These nuts.
I swear on my
man.
nuts sack.
These nuts.
And they would come collect. So if you didn't pay your debt, they would come take your balls and you'd be a
Nice.
eunuch.
Ugh.
So the word testify.
Test comes from testicles. That's
testicles. Yep.
deep.
Ugh.
You pay half your debt, you get to keep one.
Just one.
They don't negotiate in Rome.
Damn.
Ancient Rome. Yeah.
Well,
Did you guys know you can major in wine at Cornell University?
I know some people who came to Southern Oregon and majored in wine. I was like, what the fuck is that?
makes sense.
Yeah.
Got a lot of
Yeah.
wine around here.
I know a few people that probably would
My daughter's boyfriend, actually, he majored in wine.
they'd be
And whining.
good at that.
Whiny, exactly. You
Whiny.
whiny little.
Whiny little bitch. If you listen in, Carl's daughter, you got a whiny little bitch on your hands. You majored in being a whiny little bitch.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure he's cool.
Yeah, he is.
All right, the last one for today. Take a guess at what a group of ferrets is called. You know how like each animal,
A fro.
like,
Murderers.
you know, you got like a flock
Oh, no, that's crows.
of seagulls, right?
Ravens.
You got a murder of
A
crows,
group
That's
of
it,
ferrets
murder.
is called
right? A group of ferrets. What do you think?
a fro.
Levi, stop pointing to your nuts again.
Is
And it's not all about your nuts.
that all
Levi.
about your nuts, Levi?
A group of ferrets is called a stinky pile of shit.
It's not Fruit of the Loom. It's not one of those.
I wouldn't have any clue. I never. What is it?
You know what owls are? A college of owls,
Mhm.
right? So they all are a little weird, but a group of ferrets is called a business.
Really?
And I just really like that. Like they're all up in your business.
I'm gonna
like,
give you the business.
I need to get a ferret loan.
Why'd you give me this
Right.
box of ferrets? That's all.
Like I open my front door, and my kitchen's a mess, and I look around, and there's a whole business of ferrets in my fucking house.
That's crazy.
A
It's
whole
like,
business, not just 2 ferrets. A whole fucking business. Of
You
them.
go to the bank and get a ferret loan.
Like, here's one for Levi. Levi, what do you call?
Want a personal loan? Nah, give me the ferret loan.
What do you call a
Man,
group?
you need to mind your ferret.
What do you call a group of rabbits?
Ribbits.
Levi should know
Ribbits.
this one. This one's a weird one. A group of rabbits is known as a warren.
Whoa.
Warren G.
Warren G.
That's Warren.
Regulators.
Yeah.
Mount up.
Fun fact.
Hey, what do you call a group of squid? Wait, what do you call a group of squid? A squad.
Oh, a squid squad.
That was good.
Squid
Thank you
squad.
for tuning in to Heckleproof Comedy
Squid Squad.
Podcast.
Squid squad.
That's good.
Yeah. That was a horrible way to end it, but we could end it there. That's right. Thanks for tuning in to the
Thanks
Squid
for tuning
Squad.
in.
You know,
Appreciate it.
your host Carl Lee, Zach Bolton, Levi's Nuts, and Matty J.
And Matty J.
We do appreciate you guys tuning in.
Thanks.
No doubt.
Like
Catch
and
y'all.
subscribe. Share with your
Yes.
friends if they're on the Squid Squad. We appreciate that.
Yep.
You can subscribe to our Patreon for only $9.99, and you can see
Bang.
Levi's Nuts. Carl's on Grinder. Peace.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow us wherever fine podcasts are streaming.